Chapter 2648 Black Tower 1. In this world, the weak would remain prey to the strong and had to fight for opportunities. Even if the weak were lucky enough to encounter a fortuitous opportunity, they would still be hunted down by the strong. Just like in Enchanting's previous life, she had the so-called heart of the demon god in her body but was hunted for her entire life. It was extremely vexing. After entering the depths, Enchanting started being very cautious. There were many powerful demonic creatures here. However, along the way, Enchanting did not even see anything at all. It was likely that those powerful demonic beings had already been wiped out by those powerful factions. Otherwise, the demonic beings were already in hiding. Currently, the most powerful experts in the world had already gathered in this region. No matter how powerful the demonic creatures were, they would not choose to clash head-on with those beings. It was more likely that they would go into hiding. After Enchanting entered the depths, she kept looking for the main camp of the Great Immortal Temple. However, there were no traces of them at the moment. In fact, it was completely deserted all around her. Enchanting guessed that the fourth domain legacy had not been activated yet. The factions should be waiting near the legacy. However, Enchanting did not know where the legacy was. Actually, Enchanting did not intend to fight for the fourth domain legacy. She just wanted to use this opportunity to see if she could find a way to leave this era, or absorb the power of the heart of the heavenly Tao. All the elite cultivators would definitely be coveting the core legacy. With Enchanting's skills, fighting for the core legacy would be the equivalent of suicide. After searching for about 2 days in the depths, Enchanting finally passed through the deep forest and arrived at the canyon on the third morning. It was an endless canyon filled with green mountains and rivers as if it was a paradise on earth. In the middle of the valley was a pitch-black tower that reached the clouds. It looked very dilapidated. When she neared that tower, a strange expression surfaced in Enchanting's eyes. Her body trembled uncontrollably, rejecting that tower. What's going on? Enchanting's expression grew increasingly strange. She was also very curious about this pitch-black tower. As if drawn by some force, she instinctively walked towards the tower. However, when Enchanting approached the pitch-black tower, she felt dizzy and nauseous. There seemed to be countless treasures hidden in the pitch-black tower. Enchanting yearned for them as if she was possessed. However, before Enchanting could enter the tower, someone gave her left shoulder a heavy pat. Enchanting returned to her senses. Looking at the tower again, it was no longer the same as before. It was engulfed in a terrifying demonic aura. If she had really entered the tower, the consequences would be unimaginable. Stop moving forward. You'll die. A gentle voice entered Enchanting's ears. Enchanting was stunned and turned around instinctively. It was the woman dressed in white. She was gazing meaningfully at the pitch-black tower in front of her. Chapter 2649 Black Tower 2. It's her. Enchanting's expression changed when she saw the woman standing behind her, her hand still on her left shoulder. The Temple of Paragon Holy Lord who looked exactly like her. The woman in white looked away from the black tower and her bright eyes landed on Enchanting. When the woman saw Enchanting's appearance, surprise surfaced in her eyes. They were completely identical. At that moment, the woman's right hand was on Enchanting's left shoulder. Enchanting did not dare to make any movements. If she accidentally angered this immortal emperor, it would be very easy for her to kill her. Enchanting did not want the yellow dog's prediction to come true. Why do you look like me? The woman asked Enchanting. Enchanting was at a loss for words. How should she explain? That they were not from the same era. That she was her reincarnation. Or, this was purely a coincidence. The world was wide and filled with all sorts of strange mysteries. I would like to know too, Enchanting replied helplessly. In fact, Enchanting was speaking the truth. She did not know why she looked identical to the Temple of Paragon's paragon. She also wanted to know the reason. As for the reincarnation theory, Enchanting had no idea if it was true. She did not have any evidence. It really is a boundless world. There are all sorts of strange things, the woman in white commented after sizing up Enchanting for a long time. Enchanting, I created a clone a few days ago. If not for the difference in auras, I would have thought you were my clone, the woman in white continued when she saw that Enchanting did not speak. Clone. Enchanting was slightly taken aback. If she was not wrong, that should be the Holy Lord of the Temple of Shadows. Enchanting could still remember that when she first arrived in the central mainland, she was mistaken by the Temple of Shadows as the Holy Lord. After that, she was taken to the Temple of Shadows, filled with worry and fear. Visit Readle Me for extra chapters. Miss, which faction are you from? The woman in white continued to probe. Great Immortal Temple, Enchanting replied honestly. Oh, rumor has it that there are thousands of fiendish demons suppressed under a great immortal temple in the Divine Venerate domain. Are you referring to that same temple? The woman in white asked. That's right. Enchanting nodded. There is only one great immortal temple in the Divine Venerate domain. It had to be said that Enchanting's impression of this Temple of Paragon's paragon was all from hearsay in the Mixed Heavens holy domain. By the time of her original era, the paragon had already passed away and only lived on in rumors. Now that Enchanting was personally meeting the paragon, she realized that this immortal emperor did not match the rumors. She seemed to be much more amiable. Miss, I am from the Mixed Heavens holy domain and not a native to your Divine Venerate domain, the woman in white continued. Seeing Enchanting's strange expression, the woman smiled. I don't know why, but after seeing you, I just want to be closer to you. It's as if there's some kind of magic power in you that attracts me. Perhaps it is because of our appearances. My name is Yi. Yi Yu. I wonder, Enchanting stared at the woman in white. Seeing that she was quite amiable and gentle, she decided to chat more. Chapter 2650 Black Tower, 3, Miss Yi Yu, just call me Ah Yao, said the woman in white. Ah Yao, Enchanting was deep in thought. This name was very familiar to her. Back in her era, she had also been called Ah Yao by the Holy Son of Shadows. However, the Ah Yao that the Holy Son referred to was the Holy Lord of Shadows and just a clone. This Ah Yao in front of her was the real original body, the supreme paragon of the Temple of Paragon in the Mixed Heavens holy domain. Miss Ah Yao, what a nice name. Enchanting smiled. Miss Yi is really good with words. I saw that Miss Yi was attracted by this pitch-black tower just now, but this tower is a little strange. There is a monstrous demonic aura surrounding it. It's best if Miss Yi doesn't get too close, the woman in white cautioned. Enchanting had already discovered this. However, she felt that something was amiss. This tower seemed to be inexplicably linked to her. It was precisely because of this connection that Enchanting fell into a trance and wanted to enter to take a look. I keep feeling that this tower seems to be linked to me in some way. The Temple of Paragon's paragon suddenly said in a subconscious manner. Enchanting's expression became even more bewildered. She looked at the paragon. The two of them were thinking the same thought. Why? Could it be that this black tower had some kind of magical power that made everyone who saw it have such thoughts? Or could it be, Ah Yao, do you want to go in together to take a look? Enchanting suggested to the paragon. Enchanting was not confident of entering the tower alone. However, if she brought this paragon in with her, she believed that they would be able to escape in time if there was any danger. After all, this was an immortal emperor. The paragon was clearly tempted by Yi Qingtang's suggestion. It was true that the Temple of Paragon's paragon was indeed very curious about this black tower. She kept feeling that it was linked to her, and it should be no problem to just take a look. In the end, the paragon nodded at Yi Qingtang. Let's go and take a look then. But before we do this, I'm a little curious if Miss Yi Yu is from the Divine Venerate domain? The woman in white stared at Yi Qingtang. Yi Qingtang did not know why the paragon was suddenly asking this question. Nevertheless, she shook her head very honestly and said, I'm the same as you, Ah Yao. I'm not from the Divine Venerate domain. I am also from the Mixed Heavens Holy domain. Oh. Surprise flashed across the paragon's eyes when she heard Yi Qingtang's reply. That's really strange. Miss Yi Yu is also from the Mixed Heavens Holy domain, but with Miss Ye's skills, I should have already known of you if you are really from that domain. An illusionary emperor-level practitioner was considered one of the top experts in the Mixed Heavens Holy domain. There was no illusionary emperor-level cultivator who was unknown in that domain. The Temple of Paragon's paragon was curious how Yi Qingtang managed to remain anonymous in the Mixed Heavens Holy domain. I came to the Divine Venerate domain a long time ago, Yi Qingtang found a random reason. Yes, I wonder if Miss Yi Yu has any plans to return to your hometown. A few years ago, I created the Temple of Paragon in the Mixed Heavens Holy domain but am currently short of manpower. If Miss Yi Yu has any plans to return, you can come to my Temple of Paragon and manage it with me. The woman in white smiled at Yi Qingtang. Chapter 2651 Black Tower 4. Actually, the paragon had no idea what was happening to her today. It was just that after seeing Yi Qingtang, she somehow felt that Yi Qingtang was filled with some kind of bewitching power that attracted her. The paragon subconsciously wanted to get closer to her. If it was in the past, someone who looked so similar to her might have already annoyed her so much that she would have killed her. The paragon was not the only one who felt this way. Even Yi Qingtang had this inexplicable feeling. For no discernible reason, she had a good impression of the paragon. I have no intention of returning to my hometown for the time being, but that may change. Perhaps I will return one day, Yi Qingtang said to the Temple of Paragon's paragon. Yi Qingtang had already planned to return to the Blue Sky domain and also take a look at the Mixed Heavens Holy domain before leaving this era. Miss Yi Yu, I've been an orphan for as long as I can remember. I've never seen my parents before and was abandoned right after birth. I was wondering if you and I could be twins since you look so similar to me. The woman in white suddenly changed the topic. Yi Qingtang was at a loss for words. Probably not. I wonder if Miss Yi Yu lives with her parents. If so, where are they? Perhaps you can bring me to take a look. Maybe it's just as I thought. Otherwise, how could two people who are unrelated to each other look identical? The Temple of Paragon's Holy Lord continued. Not only did they look identical, but she also had an inexplicable sense of intimacy with Yi Qingtang. Could this be the legendary family bond? Yi Qingtang was in a dilemma. How was she supposed to respond? Logically speaking, her parents should not have been born yet, right? Even if her biological father was a supreme expert who had lived for thousands of years, her mother was definitely not born yet. Even Yi Qingtang's maternal grandfather was probably not born yet. Ah Yao, to be honest, I'm also an orphan. I've never met my biological parents. They abandoned me at birth. Yi Qingtang could only sigh helplessly. Actually, after careful consideration, Yi Qingtang was not lying. Even in her own era, Yi Qingtang had never seen her biological parents. In a sense, she had indeed been abandoned. Oh. The paragon was surprised by Yi Qingtang's words. In that case, Miss Yi Yu, not only do you look like me, even your background. We are the same, the paragon mused. For some reason, the paragon trusted Enchanting's story completely and did not suspect a thing. Actually, Enchanting did not want to lie to Yao. But if she told the truth, she would probably be treated as a lunatic. Who would believe that she had returned to this distant past from the future? And that, she might even be Yao's reincarnation. Wouldn't she be foretelling her death? If you told any other immortal emperor that you were her reincarnation, that immortal emperor would probably kill you with a single slap the moment you finished speaking. Claiming to be the reincarnation of someone was as good as cursing the person to death, if someone told Enchanting that she was her reincarnation. Chapter 2652 Not gentle at all. 1. Especially in this era, saying such words would make you an instant lunatic, and Enchanting was no fool. She knew very well what should and should not be said. I keep feeling that I might be linked to you, Miss Yu. The paragon smiled at Enchanting. Enchanting smiled back at her. There were indeed connections. In her era, be it the Temple of Shadows or the Temple of Paragon, there were all kinds of connections. Yao, I think so too, Enchanting said to the paragon. Miss Yu, why don't we become sworn sisters? The paragon suddenly suggested. The latest _AP_SODIs are on the website. Enchanting was stunned and disbelief appeared on her face. The paragon of the Temple of Paragon wanted to become sworn sisters with her. Wasn't this too unbelievable? Yao, you have the body of an immortal emperor. You want to become sworn sisters with me? Enchanting sounded slightly surprised. The paragon replied nonchalantly, how many immortal emperors are there in this world? If I base all my relationships on cultivation level, wouldn't I be forever alone? Enchanting was rendered speechless by the paragon's explanation. She never expected her to be like this. In Enchanting's era, be it the Holy Lord of the Temple of Shadows or the Paragon of the Temple of Paragon, Enchanting had never seen the original body. Everything she knew was just from hearsay and rumors. Visit. For a better user experience, if Miss Yu met someone she likes, would that person have to possess the same cultivation level in order for you to befriend her? The paragon chuckled when she saw that Enchanting had remained silent. Enchanting instinctively shook her head. Her gaze landed on the paragon. Of course not. That's good then. So, is Miss Yu willing? If it's not convenient for you, it's fine as well. The paragon smiled. I'm very happy that Sister Yao holds me in such high regard. How could I reject you? This must be my good karma from my previous life, Enchanting pondered for a moment before replying. Not only did Enchanting have a very favorable impression of this paragon in front of her, but she also wanted to get close to her. Even if that was not the case, would anyone ever reject a supreme immortal emperor who wanted to become sworn sisters with her? The latest _AP_SODIs are on the website. That's good. With a casual wave of her hand, the scene changed drastically. At that moment, there was no black tower or canyon. Enchanting and the paragon arrived in a hole. Enchanting was no stranger to this main hole. Although there were many small details that were different, she could still tell at a glance. The Temple of Paragon, surprise surfaced in Enchanting's eyes as she looked around. Enchanting was certain that this was the Temple of Paragon. Enchanting frowned. Did the Paragon bring her from the divine venerate domain to the Temple of Paragon in the mixed heavens holy domain? Illusion. Enchanting contemplated quietly. Visit. For a better user experience seeing Enchanting's strange expression, the Paragon looked at her and said, don't panic. This place is just an illusion. Chapter 2653 Not gentle at all. 2. Illusion. I see. Enchanting nodded slightly. Ah Yao, why did you bring me into this illusion? Enchanting changed the topic. Miss Yu, I created this place a few years ago. It's called the Temple of Paragon. Since you and I are going to become sworn sisters, we have to return to the Mixed Heavens holy domain for the ceremony. The Paragon smiled. Enchanting was deep in thought after hearing what the Paragon said. Enchanting had earlier said that she was from the Mixed Heavens holy domain too. Therefore, they should return to the Mixed Heavens holy domain for the ceremony to become sworn sisters. Both of us came from the Mixed Heavens holy domain. It's a little inappropriate to become sworn sisters in the Divine Venerate domain. Miss Yi, you should be able to understand, the Paragon said. Of course. Enchanting nodded. This was probably the rule of this era. Enchanting was not clear about it but did not have any objections. It had to be said that even Enchanting could not tell if this illusion was real or fake. Actually, the martial arts culture of the Mixed Heavens holy domain is indeed a little inferior to the Divine Venerate domain. Our hometown is not as prosperous as the Divine Venerate domain. I only hope that there will be a period of time in the future when we can be on equal footing, the Paragon said slowly as she looked around the divine hall. I believe that with your martial arts skills, you can definitely accomplish what you want, Enchanting said. The Paragon just smiled and said, Miss Yu, to be honest, even from a young age, outsiders have called me a martial arts fanatic. I don't usually like to talk and am reluctant to make friends. It's just that seeing Miss Yu today, I seem to have become more relaxed and can't help but become more talkative. Visit Readle. Me for extra chapters. Before Enchanting could say anything, the Paragon continued, Miss Yu, let me show you my Temple of Paragon. Alright, Enchanting agreed. This Temple of Paragon was not much different from the one in Enchanting's memories. However, as it was an illusion, there was no one inside. Directly ahead was a secret room. Enchanting had seen this secret room in the Temple of Paragon in the previous era. However, only the Paragon could open this secret room. Miss Yu, I've hidden some secrets in this secret room. If I were to die in the Divine Venerate domain one day, Miss Yu can head back to the Temple of Paragon in the Mixed Heavens holy domain and open this secret room on my behalf. The Paragon tossed a token to Enchanting. Enchanting was surprised at receiving the token. Ah Yao, you trust me so much. This was just the first time she and the Paragon were meeting. The Paragon gave a faint smile. It's indeed a little strange. Even I find it unbelievable. It's clearly our first time meeting, but I feel that there's something between us that can't be cut off. Could we really be twins? Without waiting for Enchanting to speak, the Paragon continued, however, this is no longer important. Anyway, you and I will become sworn sisters. In the future, you will treat me as your biological sister and I will treat you as my biological sister. Alright? Alright. Ah Yao, you are the one who said it. An immortal emperor can't go back on her word. Enchanting smiled. Chapter 2654 Not Gentle at All, 3. There was a huge altar outside the temple. This was where Enchanting and the Paragon carried out the ceremony to become sworn sisters. After the ceremony was completed, the Paragon waved her right arm and the temple disappeared without a trace. The two of them returned to the vicinity of the Black Tower. Sister Yu, let's go take a look at the tower, but we have to be extremely careful. You have to listen to my orders. The Paragon was firm. Enchanting nodded and walked towards the Black Tower with the Paragon. She stood in front as they arrived below the tower. In a slight trance, she felt like this Black Tower had transformed into a huge beast that had been lying dormant for a long time, waiting quietly. Yi Qingtang's emotions suddenly changed. An inexplicable tragic scene surfaced in her mind. It was unknown where that scene was occurring, but gods and Buddhas filled the sky and were being slaughtered one after another. Countless essence energy was being absorbed by the slaughterers. Visit. For a better user experience, Sister Yi Yu. Just as Yi Qingtang was immersed in the image in her mind, she heard a voice calling her. In the next second, Yi Qingtang lost control of her body and was brought into the air. Before long, Yi Qingtang returned to her senses. The paragon was holding on to her left shoulder as she was lifted into the air. She was now a distance away from the tower. Sister Ah Yao. Yi Qingtang looked at the paragon with a strange expression. The paragon did not say anything. After seeing that Yi Qingtang had woken up, she slowly descended to the ground. Sister Yi Yu, do you know what happened just now? The paragon asked Yi Qingtang. The latest _AP_SODIES are on the website. Yi Qingtang shook her head. By the time she regained her senses, she was already lifted into the air by the paragon. At this moment, the face of the paragon was rather grim. She mumbled, strange, the image that appeared in my mind just now. Sister Ah Yao, what did you see when you approached the Black Tower? Yi Qingtang asked. I didn't really see anything. I was a little dazed like you were earlier on, and then there were some memories that didn't belong to me, running through my mind, the paragon said. Yi Qingtang's expression grew even more bewildered. Memories that did not belong to her also appeared in the depths of Yi Qingtang's mind just now. Did you see images of gods and Buddhas being slaughtered? Yi Qingtang's eyes flickered as she asked the paragon. Visit. For the best no_vel_read_ng experience, Sister Yi Yu, you saw it too? The paragon asked. Indeed. Yi Qingtang nodded. I saw the same memory as Sister Ah Yao, but this memory does not belong to you or me. Yi Qingtang had two conjectures now. The first was that anyone who approached the Black Tower would experience this strange phenomenon. Their mental state would be disturbed and they would see memories that did not belong to them. But many supreme experts and factions had already entered the depths many days ago. Could it be that those cultivators did not experience those memories when they approached the Black Tower? If they did, they would definitely treat the tower as a part of the Fourth Domain legacy and guard it. It was impossible that they would just ignore it. Weren't those supreme experts and factions here for the Fourth Domain legacy? How could they ignore this Black Tower? This did not make any sense. The latest _AP_SODIES are on the website. Chapter 2655 Not gentle at all, therefore, no matter what, Yi Qingtang was not inclined to believe in her first conjecture. But her second conjecture was somewhat terrifying. Could it be that this Black Tower was only targeting the paragon and her? If she was really the reincarnation of the paragon, then in a sense, she and the paragon were the same person. In this way, it was reasonable that the tower only targeted the two of them. It seemed to be targeting the two of them, but it was actually targeting only one person. However, if Yi Qingtang's second guess was correct, it brought about a new question. Why was the Black Tower targeting her and the paragon? Sister Yi Yu, this tower is not as simple as it appears. The paragon frowned. I feel that it is only targeting you and I. The paragon was naturally an extremely intelligent person to be able to become an immortal emperor. Her conjecture was nearly identical to Yi Qingtang's. The only difference was that Yi Qingtang speculated that she was the reincarnation of the paragon, while the paragon speculated that she and Yi Qingtang were twin sisters. Visit. For a better user experience, the corners of Yi Qingtang's lips twitched. She really wanted to tell this gentle Sister Ah Yao that they could not possibly be twin sisters, it was more likely that the paragon was her ancestor. Before Enchanting could speak, a terrifying aura suddenly burst out from the surroundings. In just a short moment, Enchanting and the paragon were completely engulfed. Who is it? A cold glint flashed across Enchanting's eyes as she surveyed her surroundings. In the next second, a few men in black robes floated out of the void. The heavenly demon tribe. Enchanting was slightly taken aback when she saw the black-robed men in the air. However, Enchanting returned to her senses in an instant. The latest _AP_SODIES are on the website. Over the past 2 years, she had lived with Feng Wuyin and Feng Jiuyo in the Great Immortal Temple and never once appeared on the outside. The heavenly demon tribe would not be able to find them even if they wanted to. But now, she had encountered them. Ha! You, how dare you ruin our heavenly demon tribe's business, one of the black-robed men shouted coldly. Enchanting sized them up. These people were indeed from the heavenly demon tribe. As one of the supreme peak forces of the divine venerate domain, the heavenly demon tribe would never miss the opening of the fourth domain legacy. Many of their branch powers also came along. Before Enchanting could speak, the black-robed men were stunned. To use. The leader of the black-robed men frowned and looked at Enchanting before sizing up the paragon beside her. Apart from their clothes and auras, they were completely identical. Visit. For a better user experience, twins. One of the black-robed men asked in confusion. Enchanting was at a loss for words. Not twins, she swore they were not twins. Sister Yiyu, is this your enemy? The paragon asked Enchanting in a soft voice. I guess so. Enchanting nodded. The paragon suddenly said, that's great. I just thought of a way to confirm the effects of the Black Tower. Enchanting was confused. She did not understand what the paragon meant. However, in the next second, an extremely cold glint surfaced in the eyes of the paragon. The heads of several black-robed men instantly separated from their bodies and fell to the ground, leaving their leader utterly dumbstruck. The latest _AP_SODIES are on the website. Enchanting was also stunned. She was wrong. Sister Ah Yao was not gentle at all. Chapter 2656 I'm here to kill you. 1. Enchanting looked at the calm and collected temple of paragons standing beside her. Several men from the heavenly demon tribe branch had just died miserably at her hands. Indeed, as an immortal emperor, how could she be gentle? Sister Yiyu, I have an idea, the paragon said to Enchanting after killing the black-robed men. Enchanting was stunned by the paragon's words. She did not understand what she meant. Sister Ah Yao, what is it? Enchanting asked. It's about the Black Tower. The paragon ignored the last black-robed man in the sky. Instead, she turned toward the Black Tower. Visit. For the best no_vel_read_ng experience, when the two of us get close to the tower, our mental states will be disturbed. I want to know if the Black Tower is only targeting you and me. The paragon explained to Enchanting. A glint flashed across Enchanting's eyes. The paragon's idea was not bad. If the Black Tower was only targeting her and the paragon, then it should not be difficult for others to get close or even enter the building. However, if others were also affected by the tower in the same way as the two of them, then it proved that the Black Tower was not specifically targeting the two of them. So Sister Ah Yao means to use him to test the Black Tower? Enchanting pointed at the black-robed man in the sky. Yes, Sister Yiyu understands me the best. The paragon nodded. The remaining black-robed man's expression changed when he overheard Enchanting's conversation with the paragon. He immediately turned around and fled into the distance. In the blink of an eye, the black-robed man had already fled and disappeared without a visit. For a better user experience trace. Sister Ah Yao, he ran away, Enchanting said. The paragon smiled. In the next second, the black-robed man, who had already disappeared without a trace, was swept up by a violent wind and brought back to this place without any ability to resist. Crash! The black-robed man fell heavily to the ground. You too. The black-robed man was sweating profusely as he stared at Enchanting and the paragon. His body trembled slightly. If you kill me, the heavenly demon tribe will definitely not let you off. Are you going to become enemies with the entire heavenly demon tribe? The man's voice trembled slightly. Visit. For a better user experience, he never expected to see two Yu here, and that the other Yu's cultivation level was so unfathomable. I don't think the heavenly demon tribe will go after an immortal emperor because of a mere branch member, Enchanting said calmly as she stared at the black-robed man. The black-robed man felt like his last hope had been snatched away by Enchanting's words. Indeed, as one of the supreme powers in the divine venerate domain, the heavenly demon tribe had countless branches. It was not likely for them to chase after an immortal emperor just because of a mere branch member. Furthermore, we just want you to help us with something. If you listen to us obediently, your life will be spared. Enchanting smiled at the black-robed man. The black-robed man's eyes flickered. They just wanted his help. They wouldn't kill him. Well, what do you need my help with? The black-robed man asked carefully. Visit. For a better user experience, you just have to do as we say. Don't ask so many questions, said Enchanting. Chapter 2657 I'm here to kill you, too. After a long time, the black-robed man finally nodded seriously and said, all right, as long as you spare my life, I can climb a mountain of blades or plunge into a sea of flames. Tell me, what do you need my help with? Go toward that black tower. The paragon looked at the black tower. A strange look appeared in the black-robed man's eyes when he heard that, but he didn't say anything. He hurriedly got up from the ground and walked towards the black tower. The black-robed man was extremely cautious with every step he took. It was as if the black tower was an extremely dangerous place. One might lose their life if he was careless. If that was not the case, why did those two not approach the black tower themselves? Visit. For the best no_vel_read_ng experience after an unknown period, the black-robed man finally got close to the tower. His body began to tremble slightly. Puff, the black-robed man finally arrived at the black tower. He wiped the cold sweat off his forehead and looked at Enchanting and the paragon. Is that all? Surprise surfaced in Enchanting and the paragon's eyes. The black-robed man did not lose his mind when he got near the black tower. Nor did he show the slightest abnormality. Enter the black tower, the paragon commanded. The black-robed man nodded and entered the black tower hesitantly. After about 10 minutes, the black-robed man walked out of the black tower. Visit. For the best no_vel_read_ng experience, how's it in the black tower? Enchanting asked the black-robed man with a frown. It's a little dark inside, the black-robed man began. Enchanting, the black-robed man continued, there are many levels in the tower. I've looked at almost every level and they are just some old knickknacks inside. There's nothing special. Could there be some secret in the black tower? Enchanting and the paragon were even more puzzled now. The black-robed man had entered the black tower. Enchanting and the paragon saw him with their own eyes. In that case, just as Enchanting and the paragon conjectured, the black tower had some kind of connection to the two of them. They were the only ones whose minds were affected by the tower. Visit. For a better user experience, is there anything else you need me to do? If not, can I leave? The black-robed man looked at Enchanting and the paragon. Sister Yiyu, are you going to let him leave? The paragon asked Enchanting. Anything is fine, Enchanting said. In the next second, the paragon waved at the black-robed man. Seeing this, the black-robed man looked like he had been granted freedom after years of imprisonment. He thanked Enchanting and the paragon profusely before leaving quickly. A cultivator of his level was no threat to Enchanting. There was no difference to her whether she released or killed him. Sister Yao, I think that the Black Tower is really linked to us. Otherwise, the other factions would already be guarding it and not let others near it. Visit. For a better user experience, Enchanting said to the paragon after the black-robed man left. The paragon nodded. It's really strange. I've never encountered such a situation. Chapter 2658, I'm here to kill you. 3. The more they could not enter the Black Tower, the more curious they became. It was not just that they cared about how many legacy treasures were in the Black Tower. They were just curious about the link between them and the Black Tower. After a while, Enchanting slowly walked towards the tower again. However, she had just taken a few steps when the previous feeling assaulted her again. She could only stop and return the way she came. Sister Yao, I still cannot get close at all. Enchanting sighed. Forget it, let's leave this place first, said the paragon. Anyway, the strange circumstances of the Black Tower were only targeted at the two of them. To others, there was nothing special about the tower. It was just an ordinary building that did not attract anyone's attention. As much time as they wasted time here, they would still not be able to approach the Black Tower. It was better for them to search for the fourth domain legacy first. 0K, after pondering for a moment, Enchanting nodded and decided to travel with the paragon. Not long after Enchanting and the paragon left the Black Tower, a cold glint flashed across the paragon's eyes as she looked into the distant void. At that moment, even Enchanting felt an inexplicable pressure coming from afar. Sister Yiyu, be careful. We are being targeted, the paragon warned Enchanting. Enchanting frowned slightly. This aura was extraordinary and the practitioner's level was probably on par with that of an immortal emperor. Mjo, are you? Since you're here, why don't you show yourself? Enchanting shouted into the distant void. As Enchanting finished her sentence, a man with an inexplicable smile appeared in front of Enchanting and the paragon. Han Xiaoming. Enchanting's expression changed when she saw the man in the air. It was as if she was facing a formidable enemy. Enchanting would never forget Han Xiaoming's face. When she first came to this era, Han Xiaoming had his eyes on the heavenly demon devouring bloodline in her body. If not for Ling, she might have already died in Han Xiaoming's hands. However, Enchanting had been cultivating in seclusion in the Great Immortal Temple for the past 2 years and did not receive any news about Han Xiaoming. Visit Readle. Me for extra chapters. Han Xiaoming ____ the Supreme Immortal Emperor of the Divine Venerate Domain. The paragon asked Enchanting. Enchanting nodded and said, yes, Sister Yao, he is here for me. Leave first, help me find the Great Immortal Temple camp and tell them about my current situation. They will come and save me. The paragon frowned at Enchanting's words. She sized up Han Xiaoming. Immortal Emperor, out of respect for me, can you not make things difficult for my sister? The paragon asked. Han Xiaoming smiled at the paragon. What if I say no? The expression of the paragon turned completely cold. Then you can come and try. I just entered the Divine Venerate Domain and don't wish to have anything to do with the immortal emperors from the third domain. But if you want to attack my sister, I'm afraid I cannot let you do that. Sister Ah Yao ______. Warmth surged in Yi Qingtang's heart when she saw the Paragon's reaction. Yi Qingtang did not expect that the Paragon would go against demon god Han Xiaoming for her sake. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2659 I'm Here to Kill You. 4. Yi Qingtang was no stranger to the skills of demon god Han Xiaoming. She had personally experienced how terrifying he was. However, she had no idea how powerful the Paragon was compared to the demon god Han Xiaoming. Suddenly, there was a clear clanging sound. In the next second, violent winds blew in all directions, and the faint sound of thunder rang out in the sky. Yi Qingtang saw the Paragon unsheath her sharp sword, which emitted a cold light. Heaven-level divine weapon. Just unsheathing it was enough to stir the power of nature. Yi Qingtang knew how terrifying a heaven-grade divine weapon was. Han Xiaoming, where is my friend? Yi Qingtang suddenly took a few steps forward and shouted at the man in the air. Your friend. Han Xiaoming looked at Yi Qingtang. How would I know? Han Xiaoming, don't pretend to be ignorant, he is the person with the karma bloodline. Yi Qingtang frowned. For the past 2 years, Yi Qingtang had been worried about Ling Yan's safety. With Ling Yan's almost useless martial skills, it was impossible for him to possess Han Xiaoming. Whether Ling Yan was dead or alive, Yi Qingtang had to know. Oh. I remember now. Han Kangming's lips curled up as he stared at Yi Qingtang. Why? You seem to care about him a lot. Can I ask what's your relationship with him? What has my relationship with him got to do with you? Yi Qingtang asked. In that case, I can only say that he's already dead, Han Xiaoming said with a smile. Yi Qingtang's pupils constricted and her body trembled slightly. Endless anger surged from her eyes and she instinctively wanted to continue moving forward. However, before Yi Qingtang could do anything, she was stopped by the Paragon. Sister Ah Yao, Yi Qingtang looked at the Paragon. Sister Yi Yu, don't be rash. The Paragon shook her head. In the Paragon's opinion, with Yi Qingtang's skills, she would just be courting death if she went head-on with Han Xiaoming. The Paragon looked at Han Xiaoming. Looks like there's no room for discussion regarding this matter. Visit Readle. Me for extra chapters. Ha, Immortal Emperor, you must have misunderstood something. Han Xiaoming smiled when he saw the Paragon take out her heaven-level divine weapon. The Paragon said expressionlessly, Oh, why do you say that? If there's any misunderstanding, you can clarify it. I didn't appear today to target your so-called sister. I didn't say that I came here to kill her, Han Xiaoming said. If so, then there's no animosity between us, said the Paragon. Han Xiaoming shook his head. That's not entirely true. Although I'm not here to kill her, I am here to kill you. Both the Paragon and Yi Qingtang were stunned. Han Xiaoming was not here to snatch her heavenly demon-devouring bloodline, but to kill the Paragon. Why? You are here to kill me. The Paragon quickly regained her composure. Yes. Han Xiaoming nodded. The Paragon smiled. There's no grudge between us. Today is the first time we've met, yet you want to kill me. I must admit I am very curious as to why. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2660, I'm Here to Kill You. 5. Han Sangming stood quietly in the air and stared at the paragon. The corners of his lips curled up slightly as he said softly, "There's no need for any reason to kill. I feel like killing you, so I will. This reason is sufficient." The paragon nodded at Han Sangming. "This reason is enough for me too." Sister Yao, Yi Qingtang's gaze landed on the paragon and she said softly, "Be careful. This person's skills are unfathomable. Why don't we join forces?" The paragon shook her head. "Sister Yi Yu, with your skills, it's better if you don't interfere." Yi Qingtang still wanted to say something, but seeing the paragon's determined attitude, Yi Qingtang finally nodded. "Since you want to take my life, go ahead and make your move. Coincidentally, I have never fought with an immortal emperor from the divine venerate domain," said the paragon to Han Sangming. "Good." Han Sangming smiled. As he spoke, he raised his right arm slightly and pointed at the void in front of him. Golden flames blotted out the sky as they surged towards the paragon, forming a terrifying sea of flames. The paragon stared at the sea of flames. She did not say anything and just stood where she was. As Yi Qingtang watched, the paragon did not resist at all until she was completely engulfed by the sea of fire. After an unknown period of time, the sea of flames gradually dissipated, but the paragon was already gone. "Sister Yao." Yi Qingtang frowned and looked around. The aura of the paragon had completely disappeared as if she had never existed. Yi Qingtang could not understand. Even if it was the demon god Han Sangming, it was impossible for him to annihilate an immortal emperor with just one move. But then the paragon suddenly appeared in front of Han Sangming. Without any warning, she threw a punch at Han Sangming. Bang! A loud sound that shook the air echoed in all directions. The paragon and Han Sangming's fists collided, causing the entire space to tremble. "You are indeed an immortal emperor from the divine venerate domain. Your reaction is extraordinary." The paragon looked at Han Sangming expressionlessly. Visit Readle.me for extra chapters. The corners of Han Sangming's lips curled up slightly when he heard the paragon's words. He smiled at her. The space technique does live up to its reputation. Space technique. Yi Qingtang looked at the paragon. She suddenly remembered that the most terrifying thing about the paragon was not her martial arts skills but her space technique. It was said that she was the first person in history to completely integrate the space technique into her body and reach the peak of creation. She could fuse with space at will and even transmigrate. The space technique is powerful, but it might not be enough to defeat me. Han Sangming continued. Is that so? Since you are so confident, why don't you give it a try? The paragon asked. Swoosh. In the blink of an eye, two astonishing glowing lights shot out of Han Sangming's eyes. They were filled with endless destructive power as they shot towards the paragon, who was mere inches away. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2661. I'm here to kill you. 6. Even Yi Qingtang, who was standing afar, could feel the destructive power in Han Sangming's eyes. She could not help feeling a chill run down her spine. This terrifying destructive power was probably enough to instantly destroy an immortal emperor's physical body. Yi Qingtang could not help feeling anxious. She did not know how powerful demon god Han Sangming was, but he was in existence who was on par with the heavenly emperor. Two beams of destructive light shot out from Han Sangming's eyes, shooting directly towards the paragon. However, the paragon looked extremely calm, as if she did not take those light beams seriously at all. The latest _AP_SODIes are on _the website. The paragon's right palm moved slightly and the destructive light beams suddenly disappeared into the void. No one knew where they went. Space transfer, Enchanting was surprised. The paragon had already cultivated her terrifying space technique to a level that ordinary people could not even comprehend. Just like the mirror of illusions, which could turn all magical powers into matter. However, one had to have precise control when using it. Furthermore, it could only be used once in a while. However, the paragon space transfer was different. It could render all divine abilities and techniques useless. All abilities would be instantly teleported into space. No matter how terrifying a divine ability was, it was useless against the paragon. I see how it is, Han Sangming muttered as he witnessed the disappearance of his light beams. The latest _AP_SODIs are on the website. All energy attacks and divine abilities in this world are meaningless to me. The paragon was expressionless as she waved his right hand. The power of your divine ability is not bad. I didn't do anything to deserve it, so I'll return it to you. Swoosh. As the paragon spoke, the void in front of her shattered and a piercing sound swept in all directions. Enchanting saw the destructive light beams, which had been transported away by the void, appear again. This time, the direction of the light beam's attack was no longer towards the paragon but toward Han Sangming. At this moment, there was no way to avoid the destructive light beams. Han Sangming pointed his finger and collided with the destructive beams. Boom! Visit. For the best no_vel_read_ng experience multiple explosions rang out incessantly as dust flew up into the air from the ground. The nearby mountain ranges were shattered and huge rocks tumbled everywhere. It was a terrifying sight. After the dust settled, Han Sangming stood rooted to the ground as he sized up the paragon. To be able to cultivate to such a level in the mixed heavens holy domain, you have truly reached an unprecedented level. I must admit I'm impressed, said Han Sangming. The paragon sneered. You have a way with words. Should I thank you for your compliment? You're too polite. Han Sangming shook his head. He continued with a smile, the space technique is already at the acme of perfection in your hands. I agree with what you said just now. All forms of energy attacks in this world are already meaningless to you. So? The paragon asked indifferently, so, how will you respond if I don't use any energy-type divine power? Han Sangming smirked. Without giving the paragon a chance to think or speak, Han Sangming's body suddenly disappeared from where he stood. At the same time, a terrifying palm wind surged towards the paragon. Visit. For a better user experience. Chapter 2662 I'm here to kill you. 7. Each move possessed supreme power. Every single one of Han Sangming's attacks could destroy the world and make the heavens pale in comparison. Ancient Desolation, activate. The light in the paragon's eyes flickered as she gave a soft command. A barrier appeared around the paragon. The 5 colors of the barrier corresponded to metal, wood, water, fire and earth. In the next second, golden light erupted and completely blocked Han Sangming. Ancient Desolation, attack. The paragon shouted coldly. Immediately after, endless flames fell from the sky like a storm. In just an instant, this place became a sea of flames again, forcing Han Sangming to dodge to the left. Ancient Desolation, grow. Boom. Enchanting saw the ground shatter everywhere and countless vines surged out from the ground. They were like the hands of a giant as they grabbed at Han Sangming. Too powerful, Enchanting was dumbstruck by the battle between the paragon and the demon god Han Sangming. This was the true battle between two supreme beings. Each move was enough to destroy the mainland. If Han Xiaoming and the Paragon were not restraining themselves, this world would have probably ceased to exist long ago. In the next second, the colorful barrier around the Paragon gradually increased to 10. The additional 5 colors represented wind, lightning, electricity, light and darkness. Metal, wood, water, fire, earth, wind, lightning, electricity, light, darkness. Han Xiaoming looked at the 10 elemental powers that appeared around the Paragon. He fell into deep thought. Swoosh! The Paragon suddenly waved her right arm and the heaven-grade divine weapon in her hand immediately slashed towards Han Xiaoming. As the sword descended, the power of the sword's intent reached its limit. Even the surrounding void began to shatter. It was spine-chilling, heavenly demon curse, domain. Han Xiaoming muttered softly, his eyes instantly turning green. Everything turned dark. Enchanting could not avoid it in time, but she was also trapped in the domain of demon god Han Xiaoming. Is this the domain power? Enchanting's expression changed when she sensed the domain power. Enchanting had heard of domain power but had never seen it before. She only heard that only those at the Immortal Emperor level had the chance to comprehend the power of domains. I am akin to a god in my domain. No one can defeat me. Han Xiaoming stood with his hands behind his back. He floated in front of the Paragon and smiled. The Paragon frowned slightly. In Han Xiaoming's domain, she could only hear faint sounds. It was impossible to see or touch. It was like she had lost her basic senses. At this moment, the Paragon seemed to have been reduced to an ordinary person without the strength to even truss a chicken. She was probably inferior even to a normal practitioner. There's no need to struggle anymore. Han Xiaoming chuckled softly when he saw the Paragon's expression. If you had discovered this earlier, you might have been able to use the space technique to escape from the range of the domain. However, due to carelessness, you missed the opportunity. Now, you are totally at my mercy. You can't even speak now, let alone escape this place. The domain was filled with endless darkness. Enchanting stood in a corner as if she had been completely forgotten. Just as Han Xiaoming said, Enchanting could not move at all and felt as if she had lost all her senses. Just as Enchanting was at a loss of what to do, the power of the great Tao in her body circulated automatically and her eyes and long hair became snow white. Chapter 2663 I'm here to kill you. 8. Enchanting frowned deeply. As the power of the great Tao circulated, the restraint this domain had on her inexplicably loosened, her senses gradually recovered. Can the power of the great Tao cushion this domain's restraints? Enchanting pondered. Enchanting at Han Xiaoming and the Paragon. The destructive power in Han Xiaoming's eyes had already condensed to extreme limits. It could pierce through the body of the Paragon at any moment. Such terrifying destructive power was enough to destroy the body of the Paragon. Sister Ah Yao. Enchanting called out to the Paragon. However, in this domain space, the Paragon had lost her senses and could not move her body. Enchanting's warning was useless. Seeing that the Paragon was in imminent danger, Enchanting could not just sit back and do nothing. Raising her hand, a long whip formed by the power of the great Tao materialized. The long whip was covered in a snow-white luster. The latest _AP_SODIES are on _the website. Without any hesitation, Enchanting swung the long whip at Han Xiaoming. Swoosh! With the support of the power of the great Tao, the whip speed was extremely fast, especially in this domain. It appeared as a white flash. Smack! The long whip formed by the power of the great Tao ruthlessly whipped Han Xiaoming's face. This sudden change seemed to catch Han Xiaoming off guard. Blood trickled down his face. Crash! The sound of glass shattering. Visit. For the best no_vel_read_ng experience, the domain shattered and collapsed. As the domain shattered, the paragon returned to normal and she retreated immediately. Sister Yiyu. Well done. The paragon looked at Enchanting and was stunned to see the change in her appearance. However, before the paragon could ponder any further, Han Xiaoming attacked her again. Han Kangming's attacks became increasingly fierce. The paragon, who had yet to fully recover, found it increasingly difficult to deal with Han Kangming's attacks. Swoosh! However, Enchanting was not idle. Whenever she had the opportunity, she would use the power of the Great Tao to whip at Han Xiaoming from time to time. Sister Yiyu, don't attack. The latest _AP_SODIES are on _the website. The paragon reminded Enchanting. If Han Xiaoming suddenly switched his target to Enchanting, it would be difficult for Enchanting to defend herself with her inferior martial arts skills. The paragon did not want Enchanting to be implicated in this battle. The power of the domain had not completely dissipated and she could barely protect herself now. If Han Xiaoming suddenly attacked Enchanting, she might not be able to provide timely support. Can you stop? After a while, Han Kangming's gaze suddenly landed on Enchanting. Your opponent is me. The paragon thought that Han Xiaoming was going to attack Enchanting and immediately struck out with her palm. In the next instant, the two of them started battling again. This can't go on, Enchanting frowned deeply. Visit. For a better user experience, the effects of the domain just now were just too great on the paragon. She probably would not be able to recover from it so soon. Even though she had increased the strength of her martial art greatly, it was still insignificant in the face of a battle between immortal emperors. However, even if she were to leave now and find the Great Immortal Temple camp, the people of the Great Immortal Temple would definitely not become enemies with the demon god Han Xiaoming just because of the paragon, whom they did not even know. Chapter 2664 Devouring the Sun 1. The battle between Han Xiaoming and the paragon became increasingly intense. However, Enchanting could clearly see that the paragon was only defending passively and rarely took the initiative to attack. It seemed that Han Kangming's domain had a huge impact on the paragon. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Just as Enchanting was at a loss of what to do, a loud explosion rang out from somewhere which hurt her eardrums. Even Han Xiaoming and the paragon were stunned by the explosion. Swoosh! In the next second, a huge fireball erupted with sun-like light and descended from the sky. The paragon hurriedly retreated and arrived beside Enchanting. Before Enchanting could react, the paragon grabbed her and charged into the sky. Visit. For the best no_vel_read_ng experience, Sister Yiyu, be careful. The paragon frowned as she warned Enchanting. Enchanting nodded. Boom! The fireball, which shone like the sun, slammed heavily into the ground. A deep pit that was almost 300 meters wide appeared on the ground below. Cracks radiated from the pit, which was filled with endless flames. The temperature was extremely high, as if it could melt everything. What's going on? Enchanting was shocked and looked around. I'm not sure, the paragon shook her head. A strange look appeared in her eyes. How can there be such divine power in this world, divine power? Enchanting was slightly taken aback by what the paragon said. Was she implying that this was done by a human? The latest _AP_SODIES are on _the website. Enchanting had thought it was a natural phenomenon. How can a human manipulate the power of nature? Enchanting asked in surprise. And swoosh. As Enchanting spoke, another few huge fireballs shot towards them. Enchanting glanced around. At that moment, Enchanting realized that the sky was filled with fireballs. They fell in all directions like a storm and were not directed at a single person. Boom! A fireball struck the mountains and shattered the entire mountain range. They slammed into the ground, destroying the entire area. This divine power could be considered invincible. Even immortal emperors had no choice but to avoid it. Visit. For the best no_vel_read_ng experience. At that moment, all the supreme forces in the canyon were alarmed. They gazed toward the horizon in unison. What is that? An elder of the great immortal temple pointed toward the horizon. His expression changed slightly. A dog? Somewhere in the canyon, the heavenly emperor frowned as he also looked toward the horizon. Who would have thought that the cause of this disaster would be a huge demon dog? The demon dog's body was indescribable. Its entire body was yellow, and its eyes were filled with ruthlessness and viciousness. What was even more unbelievable was that this demonic dog was actually eating the sun. Am I seeing things? A yellow dog eating the sun. What's going on? It is the one causing this natural disaster. What kind of demon is it? It's so terrifying. Is that really just a dog? Visit. For a better user experience. Chapter 2665 Devouring the Sun, 2. At this moment, somewhere in the valley. The paragon frowned deeply and said to Enchanting, Sister Yu, look. There's a dog on the sun. Enchanting was stunned. What did the paragon just say? Did she hear wrongly? A dog on the sun. Almost instinctively, Enchanting looked towards the horizon, and she was completely stunned by what she saw. A dog devouring the sun. No. It wasn't the act of devouring the sun which shocked Enchanting, but the dog itself. Visit. For a better user experience, that dog. Enchanting stared at the sky in a daze. Wasn't that the big yellow dog? Enchanting did hear that to try and devour the sun when it first came to the lower realm. But Enchanting always thought it was just a joke. Now, Enchanting was seeing it with her ownies. Not only that, it was triggering a destructive natural disaster as it was gnawing at the sun. Enchanting never expected that she would witness the very moment and the big yellow dog first arrived in the lower realm. However, Enchanting could not understand why the big yellow dog was in the divine venerate domain when it first arrived in the lower realm. Didn't she find it sleeping in the wailing well in the mixed heavens holy domain? That demonic dog, just who is it? It possesses such mystical abilities. The paragon stared at the big yellow dog with a frown. Visit. For a better user experience Enchanting, Sister Yao, that's just a dog, Enchanting said after a while. The paragon shook her head. Sister Yu, how can that be an ordinary dog? We don't know how far away it is from us now, but it can trigger a natural disaster powerful enough to reach us. Just the sight of it makes me shudder. Enchanting, even though the big yellow dog seemed to be harmless and would follow Enchanting every day in the future era, the truth was that the big yellow dog was indeed from the upper realm. Enchanting did not know how powerful it was. In her era, Enchanting did not have the chance to personally witness the yellow dog's peak and glory. Now, Enchanting finally had some idea of the yellow dog's skills. Before Enchanting could ponder further, endless fireballs rained down again. She wished she could shout at the yellow dog to stop going against the sun. She had beef jerky with her. Visit. For the best no_vel_read_ng experience, Sister Yu, let's go. The paragon grabbed Enchanting. It was not safe to stay here. Apart from Han Sangming, who was nowhere to be found, there was also the endless rain of fireballs. It was too dangerous. Swoosh! Just as the Paragon was dodging fireballs with Enchanting, Han Sangming suddenly flew out from the thick smoke and struck the Paragon's left shoulder. The Paragon was forced back dozens of steps by Han Sangming. In the next second, Han Sangming grabbed Enchanting and hid in a cloud, disappearing without a trace. Sister Yu! The Paragon cried out when she saw that. She instinctively wanted to give chase, but a few more fireballs fell from the sky. The Paragon had no choice but to dodge the fireballs. Visit. For a better user experience after dodging the fireballs, there was no longer any sign of Han Sangming and Enchanting. There was no one around. Chapter 2666 Devouring the Sun, 3. The Paragon immediately hid in the void and started to look for traces of Enchanting and Han Sangming. A moment later, on a mountain in the valley, Han Sangming grabbed Enchanting and gently placed her on the ground. He looked up into the sky and saw that the demon dog was still there. Swoosh! Before Han Sangming could do anything, Enchanting waved the long whip formed by the power of Great Tao and whipped his face. A wound instantly appeared on Han Sangming's face and blood gushed out. Han Sangming turned around and looked at Enchanting. The latest _AP_SODIES are on the website. Seeing that Enchanting was about to lash out again, Han Sangming took a few steps back and the wound on his face healed. Han Sangming, I have no feud with you, but you want to snatch my heavenly demon-devouring bloodline and take my life. You even killed my important friend. I will fight you to the death. Enchanting stared at Han Sangming with a cold glint in her eyes. Now that she was already in Han Sangming's hands, it was impossible for her to escape from this demon god. Since that was the case, she might as well fight him to the death. Oh, how important is your friend to you? Han Sangming looked at Enchanting expressionlessly. What does it have to do with you? Enchanting said coldly. Of course it does. Han Sangming chuckled. As Han Sangming finished speaking, Enchanting's fearful expression changed instantly. Visit. For a better user experience at that moment, the person standing in front of Enchanting was no longer Demon Emperor Han Sangming but Ling Yan. The faint smile on Ling Yan's face made Enchanting feel so familiar and at ease. Miss Yi, how have you been? Ling Yan looked at Enchanting and smiled. As Enchanting stared at Ling Yan, her expression changed. Her pupils constricted. Nevertheless, Enchanting could not easily believe the man's words and appearance. Who are you? Enchanting looked at Ling Yan warily. Miss Yi, why are you still asking that? Isn't it obvious enough? Ling Yan chuckled. Are you really Ling Yan? Enchanting was in disbelief. She knew very well how powerful Ling Yan was. She could kill Ling Yan with just one finger. With Ling Yan's pathetic martial skills and abilities, he still dared to come to this era to possess the body of an immortal emperor. The latest _AP_SODIES are on the website. It was impossible. Even with Ling Yan's karma bloodline, it was still impossible. If anything, Enchanting suspected that the demon god Han Sangming had deliberately disguised himself as Ling Yan to fool her. How can you prove your identity? Enchanting asked Ling Yan with a frown. Well, how do you want me to prove myself, Miss Yi? Ling Yan asked. Do you know where I came from? Enchanting asked. Of course I do. The Blue Sky Domain, First Main. Miss Yi, you also want to ask me which era you come from. So what if I answer, 10,000 years from now? Ling Yan smiled. Enchanting, Ling Yan, it's really you, visit. For a better user experience, Enchanting stared at Ling Yan in disbelief. Chapter 2667, Devouring the Sun, 4, Atlas Studios. This meant that Ling Yan had really succeeded in possessing the body of the demon god Han Sangming. But how did Ling Yan do it? This matter had completely exceeded Yi Qingtang's understanding. Ling Yan's martial arts skills were not even close to that of the heavenly venerate level, but he managed to successfully possess the body of an immortal emperor. No one would believe this if they heard it. Ling Yan, since it's you, why did you lie to me just now? Yi Qingtang walked to Ling Yan's side and raised her hand, wishing she could slap him. Ling Yan smiled at Yi Qingtang. Miss Yi has yet to answer me how important your friend is to you. Visit. For the best no_vel_read_ng experience, go and die. Yi Qingtang frowned. For the past few years, she had worried about him every day, but he was fine. He had clearly succeeded in possessing the body, but not only did he look for her, he even pretended to be Han Sangming to scare her and said that Ling Yan was already dead. Miss Yi. Don't be angry. Ling Yan looked at Yi Qingtang and pointed his slender finger at the tip of her nose. I was just joking with you. Yi Qingtang casually flicked Ling Yan's hand away. Why do you want to kill Sister Hayao? A cold glint flashed across Ling Yan's eyes when he heard Yi Qingtang's words. He said softly, Miss Yi has just reminded me that the Paragon is not dead yet. If not for Miss Yi stopping me earlier, she should be dead already. The latest _AP_SODIES are on _the website. Do you have a grudge against her? Yi Qingtang asked with a frown. Ling Yan shook his head and said, no. Yi Qingtang, since there's no grudge, why do you want to kill her? Yi Qingtang could not understand. Although Yi Qingtang knew that Ling Yan had his own reasons for everything he did, she still wanted to clarify things. After all, she was already Ah Yao's sworn sister and Ah Yao sincerely treated her well. Yi Qingtang was certain of this. Miss Yi, do you know that you are the reincarnation of the Paragon? Ling Yan suddenly asked. The latest _AP_SODIES are on the website. Yi Qingtang was even more surprised. I had my suspicions but I was unable to confirm it. Since you are certain that I am her reincarnation, why do you want to kill her? So she was the reincarnation of the Paragon. Yi Qingtang had guessed that. However, Yi Qingtang could not understand why Ling Yan wanted to kill Ah Yao, who treated her so well. It's precisely because Miss Yi is the reincarnation of the Paragon that I want to kill her, Ling Yan said. Please explain. Yi Qingtang frowned. If things progress according to history, the Paragon will only die 10,000 years later. You will only be born after she dies, Ling Yan said slowly. But if the Paragon dies in this era, Miss Yi will reincarnate in advance. In that case, after you reincarnate, you will face the calamity again in this era. You will bear the responsibility of the heart of heavenly Tao in this era, Ling Yan explained. The latest _AP_SODIES are on the website. Yi Qingtang's heart skipped a beat. Although she did not fully understand what Ling Yan was saying, she had a general grasp of his meaning. According to Ling Yan's intentions, he wanted the Paragon to die now. Once the Paragon died, Yi Qingtang would be born. Chapter 2668, I don't like it, 1, Atlas Studios. Yi Qingtang shook her head. Wait, it was a little confusing. What was going on? The more she thought about it, the more confused she felt. She could not understand what Ling Yan meant at all. Visit. For a better user experience seeing Yi Qingtang's expression, Ling Yan chuckled. Miss Yi, do you find it unbelievable? Yi Qingtang shook her head and said, I don't find it unbelievable. I just don't think my brain is smart enough. What did you mean just now? Why do I feel that I don't understand? Can you explain it to me in detail? The corners of Ling Yan's lips curled up into a warm smile. He said softly, of course. Miss Yi, let's start with the timeline. Ling Yan explained patiently. Firstly, you need to know that you are the reincarnation of the paragon, Ayao. The latest _AP_SODIs are on the website. I understand that, but why do you want to kill Sister Ayao just because I am her reincarnation? Yi Qingtang asked with a frown. She still did not fully understand this point. Ayao is your previous life, so the heart of the heavenly Tao has not appeared in this era. Or perhaps, the heart of heavenly Tao is still in the heavenly emperor's body, waiting for its owner, Ling Yan said. Yi Qingtang's expression changed slightly when she heard Ling Yan's words. It was as if she had obtained the heart of the heavenly Tao from the heavenly emperor's body. In this era, the heavenly emperor was the temporary owner of the heart of the heavenly Tao. His mission was to protect the heart of the heavenly Tao and wait for the true owner to appear. After that, the heart of the heavenly Tao would leave the body of the heavenly emperor and enter the body of the true owner. Visit. For the best know_vel_read_ng experience, in this era, be it you or the paragon, you are essentially the same person. The paragon is the vessel and true owner of the heart of heavenly Tao in this era, Ling Yan said with a smile. So your real motive for killing Ayao? Yi Qingtang asked instinctively. Miss Yi, the paragon will die 10,000 years later and so you will be born 10,000 years later, correct? Ling Yan said. Yi Qingtang nodded. This she understood. The latest _AP_SODIs are on the website. If the paragon died 10,000 years earlier, you would be born in this era in advance, Ling Yan continued to explain. Yi Qingtang did not interrupt Ling Yan. Instead, she listened patiently. After the death of the paragon, Miss Yi will be reincarnated in advance. In that case, there will be two of you in this era. We came to this era through the ancient god karma tunnel, so we will not be controlled by fate. As for the other Miss Yi, as Yao's reincarnation, she will replace Yao and come into contact with the heavenly emperor, who is the temporary owner of the heart of the heavenly Tao. After that, the heart of the heavenly Tao will be transferred to the other Miss Yi. Once that happens, our goal will be achieved. Miss Yi will completely escape the restraints of fate, the other Miss Yi will bear it for you. As for us, whether we stay in or leave this era, Miss Yi will have escaped this calamity, Ling Yan said slowly. Chapter 2669 I Don't Like It, 2, Yi Qingtang's heart skipped a beat after hearing Ling Yan's detailed explanation. What? What kind of nefarious scheme was this? This sinister scheme sent a chill down Yi Qingtang's spine. From a certain perspective, Ling Yan was plotting against her. Even though it was against another her. Against the Yi Qingtang of this past era. How terrifying! Ling Yan smiled at Yi Qingtang's strange expression. Miss Yi, do you understand what I'm saying? I understand, Yi Qingtang nodded after a pause. Visit. For a better user experience Ling Yan's scheme was too terrifying. His goal was to transfer her tribulation onto Yao. After she died, it would be transferred to the next Yi Qingtang, who would be born 10,000 years in advance. If Sister Yao dies and I am reincarnated in advance, then what is my purpose? Will I still exist? Yi Qingtang muttered. Ling Yan smiled. I know what you are worried about. There is no conflict. Regardless of whether Miss Yi is reincarnated earlier in this era, it does not affect who you are. This is because, from a certain perspective, Miss Yi is an independent individual and cannot be destroyed just like that. Enchanting still did not fully understand Ling Yan. If I was born in this era, who would my mother and father be? Without the Yi family, everything would be different. Would the new me still be called Enchanting? Probably not. Ling Yan shook his head. In a sense, the new Miss Yi is an independent being and will live a different life from you. She is her own person while Miss Yi is her own person too. After a while, Enchanting took a deep breath and looked at Ling Yan. She shook her head and said, I don't like it, visit. For the best no_vel_read_ng experience, you don't like it? Ling Yan was clearly surprised. Yes. Ling Yan, I don't like you doing this. Enchanting's voice was now more determined. Why? Ling Yan asked. Sister Yao. What crime did she commit? Enchanting looked at Ling Yan. Sister Yao treats me like her own sister. Even though she is already an immortal emperor, she still wanted to protect me to the very last moment. She committed no crime. Why does she have to die 10,000 years earlier just because of me? What right do I have to do this? Enchanting asked Ling Yan. Without giving Ling Yan a chance to speak, Enchanting continued, also, after Sister Yao dies, I will be born in this era in advance. And what crime did this new Enchanting commit? You already decided her fate and eventual ending even before she was born, visit. For the best no_vel_read_ng experience Enchanting knew how wretched it could be. In her previous life, she was hunted down for an entire lifetime because of the heart of the demon god. Every day, she would open her eyes and have to flee in all directions. She was very careful and advanced step by step. No one could understand the despair in this. She had already experienced it. And this other self. Her fate had already been sealed by Ling Yan before she was even born. Her loved ones, her friends, her parents, would suffer greatly because of her. Why? Why? If she agreed with Ling Yan, would she still be human? That endless pain and turmoil which she had suffered herself, to force another self to experience it again. How would she be able to live with herself? The latest _AP_SODIES are on the website. Chapter 2670 I Don't Like It, 3, Miss Yi. You don't like me doing this? Ling Yan stared at Enchanting thoughtfully. I don't like it. Ling Yan, I don't agree with you doing this. Let's not talk about the other me. Sister Yao treats me like her own sister. Even though we just met, she was willing to sacrifice her life to help me. She even thought that I was her biological sister. You want me to scheme with you against Sister Yao and have her die 10,000 years earlier? Sorry, I just can't do that. Enchanting's tone was extremely determined. What was the thing in her heart all these years? The only thing that kept her going was that her life was in her own hands. She never believed in some bullshit predestination. She only knew that her life was in her own hands, and not the heavens. It did not matter if it was a fate that had been predestined since birth or if she was just a pawn that was born to fulfill some destiny. All of these were not decided by the heavens. Visit. For the best no_vel_read_ng experience, she was the one who decided. She should get to decide her own life. Miss Yi, do you think I'm heartless? Ling Yan asked softly. Without giving Enchanting a chance to speak, Ling Yan smiled. What has the lives of others got to do with me? As long as Miss Yi is fine, the the lives of others are naturally worth it. To me, everything in this world and even the world itself can be treated as a pawn, but not Miss Yi. Enchanting, forget it. Since Miss Yi doesn't like my way of doing things, I won't do it. Ling Yan suddenly changed his tune. Really? Enchanting looked at Ling Yan in surprise. The latest _AP_SODIES are on the website. I always keep my word. Ling Yan smiled. But this is your only chance. If you let this go, there will only be one final method in the future. Ling Yan looked up into the sky. Get the big yellow dog to help. Enchanting looked at the huge yellow dog that was still chewing on the sun in the distance. Even after chewing for so long, the sun did not look any smaller. I mean, to fight with the heavens is an endless joy. Ling Yan's lips curled up slightly. Ling Yan's words reminded Enchanting of the Heavenly Emperor. The image of him standing in the sky all those years ago, surrounded by lightning. He had the power to say that it was an endless joy to fight with the heavens. All along, Ling Yan and the Heavenly Emperor seemed to be two extremes. The Heavenly Emperor did not fear anything. So what if it was heaven and earth? He would just smile at the heavens with his blade. Even if it was the gods of heaven and earth, he would look down on them. Visit. For the best no_vel_read_ng experience, however, Ling Yan was at a completely different extreme. He treated the world as a chessboard and everything as his chess pieces. He could scheme against everything while hiding in the dark, causing the world to pale and everything to tremble. Ling Yan never cared for anyone. As long as he could achieve his goal, he could abandon all his pawns. Human lives were just a joke to him. Enchanting did not expect Ling Yan to give up on his scheme just because of her words. Miss Yi, do you like the current me? Ling Yan smiled at Enchanting. In all honesty, Enchanting did not know how to respond to Ling Yan's question. She felt a little flustered. After some time, Enchanting met Ling Yan's eyes. She opened her mouth as if she wanted to say something. However, before Enchanting could say anything, an extremely hot light exploded. Be careful. Visit. For a better user experience, Ling Yan suddenly pulled Enchanting into his arms before retreating backward. Chapter 2671, I Won't Let It Hurt You. 1. Enchanting's mind went blank as she was held by Ling Yan. In the next second, a loud bang thundered. Enchanting saw that the peak of the mountain that she and Ling Yan were standing on had turned into dust after being hit by a huge fireball. Enchanting instinctively looked towards the horizon. The dog was still biting the sun. Was it going against the sun? Something else made Enchanting feel that something was wrong with the big yellow dog. It was originally chewing on the scorching sun but was now slowly moving its head. Its terrifyingly malicious eyes landed on Ling Yan. The latest _AP_SODIES are on the website. This was the first time Enchanting saw such a terrifying and vicious gaze from the yellow dog. It was completely different from the adorable and silly dog in her memory, Karma bloodline. Enchanting seemed to realize something and an ominous premonition surged in her heart. From her memories, she vaguely remembered hearing from the yellow dog that it had a deep grudge with the Karma bloodline clan in the upper realm. Now, Ling Yan was the only person in the lower realm who had the Karma bloodline. At that moment, Ling Yan seemed to have sensed the big yellow dog's gaze and returned its look. Ha, is the curse of this era about to begin? Ling Yan chuckled. Enchanting was stunned. Curse. The latest _AP_SODIES are on the website. Ling Yan looked at Enchanting in his arms and chuckled. It's not really a curse. We came to this era and are not bound by fate. We are beyond it and can change history as we please, but we have to pay the corresponding price. It's impossible to calculate the price and it's hard to say if it will be good or bad. What do you mean? Yi Qingtang realized that she and Ling Yan's intelligence levels seemed to be completely different. It was a little difficult to communicate with him. It's very simple. Ling Yan thought for a while before explaining with a smile. For example, if Miss Yi happened to encounter an unfamiliar immortal emperor in our era, nothing would happen as you two had never met. But if Miss Yi changes some history in this past era, perhaps develop a grudge with that immortal emperor, he will never forget you even after you return to your own era. Yi Qingtang felt a headache coming on as she listened to Ling Yan's explanation. She did not want to offend any immortal emperor. This is the effect on the future brought about by changing the past. Now that we have come to this era, there will definitely be some changes. For example, I have no grudge against that demon dog, but it is showing undisguised hostility towards me. This is the price that I have to pay, Ling Yan continued. Visit. For a better user experience, I won't let it hurt you, Yi Qingtang suddenly said. Ling Yan was stunned and a smile appeared on his face. However, Yi Qingtang felt that something was amiss. This yellow dog did not recognize her at all. The big yellow dog must have already fallen into the trap of those karma bloodline practitioners from the upper realm. It had entered the ancient god karma tunnel and ended up in the lower realm. At this early stage, the yellow dog's strength was unfathomable. As much as Yi Qingtang's cultivation level had improved, she was just like an ant in front of this big yellow dog. If the big yellow dog really attacked Ling Yan, how could she stop it? Thinking about it carefully, it was really as Ling Yan had said. There was a price to pay for everything. The latest _AP_SODIs are on the website. In this era, Han Sangming did not have the power of the karma big yellow dog, so the big yellow dog would not bother with him. But Han Sangming had been possessed by Ling Yan, and Ling Yan had the karma bloodline. Chapter 2672. I won't let it hurt you, too. Ling Yan looked at the big yellow dog and said softly, this demon dog's gaze doesn't seem to be very friendly. The corners of Yi Qingtang's lips twitched when she heard Ling Yan's words. He had good eyesight. It was the karma bloodline clan from the upper realm who sent the dog to the lower realm. Now, Ling Yan was the only one in the lower realm who had the karma bloodline. How could the dog be friendly to him? At that moment, Yi Qingtang could only pray that the dog would continue to eat the burning sun and not come down to cause trouble. Otherwise, she really did not know if she could stop it. This demon dog seems to have interacted with Miss Yi. Ling Yan's gaze landed on Yi Qingtang. Yes, we did have some interactions in our era. Yi Qingtang nodded. I met it at the Wailing Well and it told me some information. What was that information? Miss Yi, can you tell me? Ling Yan asked. It's about the upper and lower realms. However, it wasn't clear in its description. There is a power that restrains it in this lower realm. It cannot reveal too much, Yi Qingtang said. Visit. For the best no_vel_read_ng experience, understood. Ling Yan nodded. Also, it hates you probably because of the karma bloodline. Yi Qingtang pondered for a moment before continuing. Oh. Ling Yan seemed to be interested. Why? In our era, it once told me that it ended up in the lower realm because it fell into a trap set by the karma bloodline clan in the upper realm, so it is very hostile towards those with the karma bloodline, Yi Qingtang said. The big yellow dog had previously said very seriously that it wanted to kill all those with the karma bloodline. Yi Qingtang did not think that the big yellow dog was joking, so she was a little worried about Ling Yan. I see, the karma bloodline clan in the upper realm. Ling Yan was deep in thought after hearing Yi Qingtang's explanation. Yi Qingtang still wanted to say something when she suddenly saw ripples in the air around Ling Yan. In the next second, Yi Qingtang saw a cold light slashing out from the surrounding void. "Be careful!" Yi Qingtang instinctively shouted at Ling Yan. Visit. For the best no_vel_read_ng experience, however, the moment Yi Qingtang spoke, Ling Yan had already retreated quickly. Boom! A loud bang rang out. A nearby mountain peak was shattered by this cold beam. In the next second, the paragon walked slowly out of the void. "Sister Yi Yu, I am here." The paragon heaved a sigh of relief when she saw Yi Qingtang. "Sister Yao," Yi Qingtang was slightly surprised to see the paragon. She did not expect the paragon to have continued searching for her. Ling Yan glanced at the paragon and walked over slowly. The latest _AP_SODIES are on the website. The paragon's gaze landed on Ling Yan and she could not help being taken aback. He had changed his face. "Come, I'll take you away." The paragon grabbed Yi Qingtang and was about to cast her space technique to bring her into the void. "Sister Yao, wait a moment," Yi Qingtang said. "Sister Yi Yu, what's wrong?" The paragon stopped in her tracks and looked at Yi Qingtang in confusion. "The immortal emperor who attacked us previously is already dead." Yi Qingtang did not know how to explain the truth to the paragon. So she could only come up with this reason. Dead? Surprise surfaced in the paragon's eyes. The latest _AP_SODIES are on the website. Chapter 2673, Convergence. 1. Atlas Studios. The man in front of her might not have the same face as the immortal emperor just now, but his clothes and aura were similar. How could he be dead? Seeing the confusion on the paragon's face, Ling Yan chuckled. "Miss Yi is right. The immortal emperor is already dead. You don't have to harbor any hostility towards me." "Dead?" The paragon's expression became increasingly puzzled. She didn't know what had happened. "Sister Yao, it's like this." Yi Qingtang pondered for a moment before saying, "The person in front of me is my friend. He possessed the body of the immortal emperor just now." "Oh. The latest _AP_SODIES are on the website." Surprise surfaced in the paragon's eyes when she heard Yi Qingtang's words. Her gaze then landed on Ling Yan again. How was this possible? The paragon knew very well how powerful that immortal emperor was. How could an immortal emperor, who could have the power of the domain, be so easily possessed by others? "Sister Yi Yu, what you just said. Is it true?" Although Yi Qingtang was the one who told her that, the paragon still found it hard to believe. "Sister Yao, would I lie to you? Everything I said is true. That immortal emperor no longer exists." Yi Qingtang nodded repeatedly. Yi Qingtang did not lie to the paragon. Han Kangming's body was indeed possessed by Ling Yan. It's a miracle. The paragon could not help sizing up Ling Yan a few more times before continuing. It seems that the martial arts culture between the Mixed Heavens Holy Domain and the Divine Venerate Domain is quite different. If this was in the Mixed Heavens Holy Domain, such a thing would never happen. The paragon muttered. Visit. For a better user experience Yi Qingtang, not just the Mixed Heavens Holy Domain, even in the Divine Venerate Domain, no one had ever heard of an immortal emperor's body being possessed. Even Yi Qingtang did not know how Ling Yan did it. Forget it. I don't know that immortal emperor and I have no grudge against him, yet he wanted to kill me the moment he saw me. Thank you for helping me and my sister. The paragon cupped her fists at Ling Yan in a show of gratitude. No problem. Ling Yan smiled at the paragon. Looks like your mystical ability has reached the pinnacle of perfection. Otherwise, it would be impossible for you to possess the body of an immortal emperor so quickly, the paragon commented. Not really. It's just because this immortal emperor was too careless, Ling Yan said with a smile. Visit. For the best no_vel_read_ng experience, by the way, since you have seized his body, where is his soul? The paragon frowned slightly. It has been sealed, Ling Yan said. Sealed? Enchanting looked very doubtful at Ling Yan's words. He had sealed demon god Han Kangming's soul. That was too ridiculous. Enchanting was pulled to the side by the paragon. Sister Yao, what's wrong? Enchanting asked in confusion when she saw the paragon's strange expression. Sister Yiyu, are you really sure that the immortal emperor from before was possessed? The paragon asked softly. I'm certain. Enchanting nodded. Sister Yao, this person is my good friend. There won't be any problems. Visit. For a better user experience, Enchanting knew what the paragon was suspicious about. If Ling Yan had not been able to confirm his identity, Enchanting would not have believed that Han Kang's body could be possessed. Chapter 2674, Convergence, 2, Atlas Studios. Once they were alone, the paragon said softly to Enchanting, Sister Yiyu, this person's aura is very similar to that of the previous immortal emperor. It's very similar, and very dangerous. You have to be careful. Enchanting chuckled inwardly. If the paragon knew about Ling Yan's past, she would definitely not say such words. Any random cultivator on the streets could easily kill Ling Yan. Enchanting was actually very surprised that Ling Yan could possess the body of demon god Han Kang. Actually, Enchanting understood the worries of the paragon. If she was the paragon, she would have the same concerns. It was hard to believe and accept such a matter. I am just afraid that he is pretending to be your friend. If Sister Yiyu can confirm his intention, then just take it that I'm overthinking things, said the paragon. Visit. For a better user experience, Sister Yao, don't worry. I can guarantee his intentions. Enchanting smiled. Alright, there is no problem then. Seeing Enchanting's confident expression, the paragon nodded and finally dispelled the last doubts in her heart. By the way, Sister Yiyu, who is this man who possessed the body of an immortal emperor? The paragon asked Enchanting. From what she saw previously, she felt that the relationship between the two of them was a little special. A good friend. Enchanting thought for a moment before replying. I see. The paragon nodded. However, the way he looks at you seems to imply he doesn't treat you as a normal friend. The way he looks at me. Enchanting was taken aback, not understanding the meaning of the paragon's words. There are certain feelings between a man and a woman. It's the kind of feeling which ends up with them becoming husband and wife, the paragon thought for a moment before explaining. Visit. For the best no_vel_read_ng experience, become husband and wife. Enchanting was stunned. The paragon had a strange expression. It's just that, never mind. I don't really know much about these things. I have never experienced them before. Enchanting, before Enchanting could say anything, the paragon continued, that demon dog. It is looking at him in a strange way too. Just as she finished speaking, Ling Yan strode over. Have you two finished whispering? How should I address you? The paragon looked at Ling Yan. Just call me Han Sangming, Ling Yan said with a smile. Yi Qingtang cast a strange look at Ling Yan. Miss Yi, as long as I am in this era, I need to take the place of the demon god Han Kangmj, Ling Yan said. Visit. For the best no_vel_read_ng experience. Yi Qingtang nodded and did not say anything more. Although somewhat strange, she could understand Ling Yan's actions. He was doing this because he did not want to cause any trouble for himself in the future. He would take over for Han Kangmj for as long as he could. You are Miss Ah Yao, correct? Ling Yan smiled at the paragon. Yes. The paragon asked. Are you interested in traveling with us? Ling Yan asked with a smile. I'm not interested. The paragon shook his head. That's a pity, Ling Yan said. Sister Yiyu, I still have some things to settle. Since you have such a powerful friend, I can rest assured that you will be fine. I'll look for you again after I am done, the paragon said to Yi Qingtang. After the paragon finished speaking, she stepped into the void and disappeared without a trace. Visit. For the best no_vel_read_ng experience. Chapter 2675, Convergence, 3. After the paragon left, Yi Qingtang looked at Ling Yan and frowned. Ling Yan, what did you mean just now? What do you mean, Miss Yi? Ling Yan asked. What do you mean by traveling with Sister Yao just now? Could it be that you haven't given up on your plan? Yi Qingtang asked. So that's what you're talking about. I thought that you were jealous. You made me happy for nothing. Ling Yan smiled and shook his head gently. Yi Qingtang, can you speak properly? Yi Qingtang asked. The latest _AP_SODIs are on the website. Since Miss Yi asked, I'll explain. Ling Yan smiled. I invited the paragon along because I didn't want her to come into contact with the Heavenly Emperor. According to history, the paragon and the Heavenly Emperor met here. Unfortunately, that paragon seems to look down on me and rejected my invitation. Yi Qingtang sneered. It would be weird if she regarded you highly. That might not be the case. Ling Yan stared at Yi Qingtang and his lips curled into an inexplicable smile. She looks down on me in this life. This means she will have to compensate me in the next life, right? Yi Qingtang was slightly taken aback by Ling Yan's words. She did not understand what he meant. Miss Yi, I am still the demon god Han Sangming. Therefore, there are some things that need to be settled. Miss Yi came under the orders of your master. In that case, you should meet up with everyone from the Great Immortal Temple as soon as possible. Ling Yan continued without giving Yi Qingtang a chance to speak. Yi Qingtang glanced at Ling Yan and said, Are you sure there's something you need to settle? Or are you trying to abandon me to find Sister Ah Yao? Miss Yi, what do you mean by that? Ling Yan asked meaningfully. Visit. For a better user experience, what do you mean? Yi Qingtang frowned. Miss Yi is afraid that I have fallen for the paragon and will go look for her. Ling Yan asked. Yi Qingtang. Who cares who you like? I'm afraid that you haven't given up on your own plans and want to harm Sister Ah Yao, Yi Qingtang said. Ah. It seems that I was happy for nothing. Forget it, Miss Yi. Don't worry. Since I've already promised you, I will keep my promise. With that, Ling Yan's appearance changed to that of Han Sangming again. In the blink of an eye, he flew deep into the clouds and disappeared. Visit. For the best no_vel_read_ng experience, Yi Qingtang was inclined to believe Ling Yan. She trusted whatever Ling Yan said. After Ling Yan left, Yi Qingtang looked towards the horizon. Even now the big yellow dog was still gnawing on the sun. However, even after so long, the sun remained unchanged. Soon, the yellow dog's huge eyes landed on Enchanting. The viciousness in the big yellow dog's eyes shocked Enchanting. Enchanting did not expect the big yellow dog, who had just arrived in the lower realm, to be so terrifying. The big yellow dog did not look like that at all in her era. Almost instinctively, Enchanting waved at the big yellow dog. However, Enchanting's action made the yellow dog's eyes turn even more vicious. It quickly turned around and no longer looked at Enchanting. Enchanting was rather displeased. Was it spurning her? The latest _AP_SODIES are on the website. She greeted it to show her friendliness. But that dog just turned its head and ignored her. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.